Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where today we are talking about push press. I'm going to share with you 3 common errors so that you can avoid them and make sure you get the most out of this lift. The push press is a staple exercise for us. In fact, some form of overhead pressing is in our program all throughout the year. That could be anything from static pin press to military press to push jerk to behind the neck split jerk. It just depends on what phase of the season we're in. For rugby players, having strong and stable shoulders is crucial, and so the push press really allows us to capitalise on the strength that we made from a previous phase during military press or pin press and make it a more athletic and dynamic movement as we start to bring in hip and leg drive. So the push press is great because it involves triple extension of the knee, hip and ankle. You have to use leg and hip drive. There is an element of velocity to this movement, and of course with all that being said, you're using greater loads. So it's going to be good for developing shoulder strength globally and of course trunk and shoulder stability, as we'll see as we go. So guys, there's 3 things that you need to watch out for when you're doing push press. The first one is losing trunk control and overarching of the lumbar spine. We want to keep nice and braced and strong through the trunk as we're pressing that barbell above our head. So the second error would be making it more of a jammer press than a push press. At the end of the movement, as we'll see, the barbell should be sitting over the crown of the head in line with the mid part of your foot. The barbell should not be out and away from you and away from your center of mass. In fact, everything should be stacked and lined up from bar to wrist to elbow, shoulder, rib cage down, hip, knee and ankle, everything in line. The third error, which is quite common in beginners, is trying to squat too low during the dip phase and making it more of a thruster than a push press. If you do that, the lift will be slower and you won't have access to your full power. So make sure you're not squatting too low during the dip phase, and that all comes down to the stance, which we're going to look at now. In terms of foot placement, you're going to want to start with your feet underneath your hips. Now everyone's got slightly different anatomy and you might want to play around with that, but that is the optimal spot for most people. So 80% of the time it is correct 100% of the time. Okay, anyway, in terms of how to grip the bar, make sure you do have full contact with the bar. Don't take a suicide grip when you're doing push press. You're going to want to have your hands just slightly outside your shoulders. Again, this will depend on how comfortable you are. Clearly, if you take a wider grip, it can put more strain on the shoulder, but it might allow you to lift more weight. I recommend gripping the bar with your hands just slightly outside your shoulder. Your chest should remain tall and your elbows slightly forward, with the bar actually resting on your shoulders. As you go to perform the push press, you're going to want to flex at the hip and the knee. Keep your heels down for as long as possible. Extend using as much leg strength and power as you have, and then your heels will naturally rise off the floor. During that time, you're going to be pressing that barbell all the way up as fast as you possibly can. Now, obviously the speed of the bar is going to be determined by how much weight you have in the bar in respect to your 1RM. It's really important, as I said before, that the bar ends up over the crown of your head. Not far back, not far forward, but stacked over your center of mass. There's 2 options you have to receive the bar. You can receive it like a weightlifting jerk and let your elbows drift forward as you catch the bar, almost like you would a clean. Or if you're going for higher reps, and this is what I prefer if I'm doing high rep push press, you can let your elbows track vertically down, just absorb the weight in that dip phase and then go again. Either way is fine for developing push press, and again, it can depend on what's comfortable for you. And that's all for today guys. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, please let me know with a thumbs up, and if you subscribe, I will see you on the next video. Cheers, thank you.